tie the wild Mustangs here, how we teach them to tie. We first do it without hard tying and make sure that they're okay with that. We are at the end of the lead line at first, making sure that they're all settled with it. And then once they're settled with it, we hard tie, but we hard tie further away from the horse so that if the horse starts thrashing around and having issues, or if there was any kind of safety thing that we needed to address for the horse, we can, with our safety in mind, go to the end of the lead line and untie it out of their way. We can also go to the outside of the ramp and untie it from the outside if need be, if the horse is bouncing around too much. So once the horse learns how to hard tie like this, you can see that I have another long 22-foot lead line attached to the halter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the lead line to throw it over her body back and forth. This horse has a history of kicking at us from the side and from behind, and she's pretty quick with it. She's a very agile, athletic, strong horse, and she has quite a bit of a strong fear response. So I'm going to show you how I use the lead line to get her used to things touching her behind the girth area, around her flank, around her butt, where I can stay safe without being in the kick zone, and we'll see how it goes. So one of the first things that I'll do is I'll use a stick and string. She's already used to this. She's not used to this while she's being tied, so I'll make sure to approach slowly and let her know I'm coming. I also like to be able to see if I can yield her away from me. There, good. Something she's already learned on the lead line. And I'm going to walk around, get out of the kick zone, yield her hip, and I like to yield them close to the fence like that. Good girl. And I will just get this pattern going. Make sure that I have the pattern established, because the pattern of the lead line will be the same thing. It will just be a little bit different feel for her and a visual cue as well. There will be a feel cue and a visual cue, but it will be more exaggerated. It's got more weight to it. We have worked on doing this on just a single lead line already, without being tied, touching her legs, using rhythmic motion with an intention of her not moving. The difference between rhythmic motion and rhythmic pressure is in my intention and in how I apply the pressure, how I ask, or if there is pressure. So when I ask with rhythmic pressure, I start with steady pressure. Like if I ask her to step up, I would raise the lead line. I would tap her a little bit. There we go. So I start slowly. I try to use the rhythmic motion a little bit quicker so they know that it is rhythmic motion. And I am not extending my arm doing it like this. When I do that, I'm asking the horse to move. So my elbows are close to my body to let her know the difference. Good girl. So you can see she's a little touchy around the tailbone area right here. And she doesn't like when I stand directly behind her. So I might play with that for a minute. What I'm going to do is when she quits moving her feet, there she paused a little bit, so I'll back off. There, I'll back off. When she quits moving her feet, while I'm behind her, I will take the pressure off so she can learn where the answer is. Good girl. Round. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab the lead line. So I have the lead line right here. And you can see it's wrapping around her. When she's moving and I'm not asking for it, it's going to start wrapping around her. And this is another way how I can teach her that it's okay me being behind her. There. And I'm staying at a further distance now, so I don't crowd her, so she doesn't get claustrophobic. We can also start adding a little bit of rhythmic motion there. Start throwing it over. Yeah. I've already done some yields with her off the rope around her hind end, but she was very unsure about it and too reactive to it. And I had moments where she thought about peeking out. So there I put her in too much of a bind, so I backed off a little bit so she wouldn't panic. It's okay to adjust to help the horse there. That was a better setup. And we have horse flies. Wonderful. Good girl. There we go. Good. That's a good way to yield. So this also teaches the horses not to always try to face me. I'd like to be able to be on their side and them not be trying to face me. There. Good. I'd like to be able to be behind them and them not be trying to face me. A lot of Mustangs are afraid of people behind them. They do come with a little bit of habits from the holding facilities. When people get behind them in the holding facilities, they're usually sending them to another area. And so when the person steps behind their drive line or steps behind them, they think it means that they need to run forward. So these horses have to relearn this. That's good relaxation there. She's starting to blow out a little bit and realize this is not going to hurt her. Good girl. Good. So there she kind of relaxed. So I'm going to back off just a little bit and then I'll come back. And I'm looking for, my goal is that I can stand behind her and I can have a little bit of lead line here. You can see that she's got a little bit of runny stool and she's pretty nervous internally, even though externally it's not showing up as much. But trust me, this is a lot better than what it was when we first got her. To be able to put a halter on her, to be able to enter her pen without her galloping or running, being scared. It's been improved greatly. And this will also go away eventually. So she's starting to learn the boundaries of that lead line there next to her. She's still concerned about me being behind her. So we have a boundary in the front, we have a boundary on the right, we have a boundary on the left, and we also have pressure from behind. So for horses that either come with some history of habits or they have not been exposed to tight spaces, they have not been educated to accept being in tight spaces, being constricted, this is all very new for her. And it's part of the training to teach her how to calm down in these kind of situations so that we can trail load her. This Mustang will end up going to Germany. So she will have to be able to be in a tight chute on an airplane. And we have plenty of time to get this done, thankfully. So we don't have to rush it. We can break it down to small little pieces. We do have chutes for that to get them used to it, or we feed them. Good girl, that was better. Like when she makes good decisions to respond to the pressure instead of reacting to it. That was a good response. She thought about it. She was using her brain. Good. I don't want her to make an assumption that every time I step behind her, she's going to disengage like that. And I don't want her to make an assumption that every time I step behind her, she needs to go forward. This will also be a good riding prep because now she's got boundaries in the front from essentially 2 reins. And that teaches her the stop cue and the backup eventually. And this is the type of a horse that I would also 2-line drive, so hopefully we'll build towards that and be able to do that one day with a saddle on. Don't 2-line drive all the horses. Don't believe all horses need it. Some trainers do, and that's okay. You want to spend the time on it to do it. I usually walk with them next to them when I prepare them for a rider and teach them the cues off the reins that way. It puts me in a little bit better position, I think, so they cannot overpower me while I'm behind there. Especially the ones that tend to be a little bit pushy. So there you can see I'm putting a little bit of pressure on the hip. There we go. Good girl. That was a good response. That's actually a little bit harder because the lead line is telling her nose to stay straight or go left instead of allowing it to turn right for the hind quarter yield. So that was a lot harder there. Good girl. And oftentimes I would be rewarding with treats, but this mare is still too nervous and has not accepted one yet from my hand. She'll take it from the bucket, but not in a session like this where she gets up on adrenaline and anxiety. There we go. Good. Good. And I think we're going to try to find a good place to give her a break. There. Good girl. The next thing I can do is add another lead line to the halter and have 2 of them so that I can go back and forth on each side, side to side. Like for her to go forward a little bit. There we go. That's why I added a little bit of rhythm there. Good girl. It's really good. So now I'm going to put the lead line on the other side of the fence so she doesn't get tangled in it. And I'm going to let her sit here and soak on it. She's also learning how to tie. So I'm increasing the time of the tying session each time. And see how she does.